New fees, guys. I think Amazon has officially lost their mind on new upcoming fees that they have decided to implement as Amazon sellers going into 2024. And so on this video, we're going to break down a bit some of what's been going on. And there's the main fee, which is called the low inventory fee that everybody's just razzling about, pissed about. And so we're going to go a bit deeper on that topic, just to really kind of break it down a bit, my thoughts and the plans of Amazon in the future and what they're kind of moving forward into. So but without further ado, guys, let's get straight into the video. Smash the like button, drop a comment down below, let me know what you guys think, and yeah, let's just get straight into it. So in case you haven't heard and you've been sleeping under a rock or something, Amazon has decided to introduce new fees going into 2024. And the biggest one that has everybody just, talking about is the low inventory level fee. So if you haven't heard what this fee is, I actually got it on my computer screen right here. So basically, Amazon wants to start charging us sellers for having low inventory, all right? So keep in mind, Amazon was already charging us for having too much inventory, and now they want to charge us for having, not enough inventory. And their reasoning excuse for this happening is because they want the customers to have better products served basically everywhere and on hand, in demand. So they're basically going to be, feeing us for not having enough stock, on hand. And so, which is crazy, right? Like, dude, you're already charging us for having too much inventory, and now you're charging us for not having enough inventory. And so looking at the screen right now, based on, what this, page is saying and everything. So basically, if you have from 0 to 14 days, the fees look like they're much bigger. So if you only have like 2 weeks worth of inventory, yeah, you're gonna hit with bigger fees than anybody else. And so, which sucks because going on this, it says small standard, an extra 89 cents per unit. Large standard up to 3 pounds, 97 cents. So that's already like almost 10 cents higher, which is like really like 8 cents, but still. And then large standard 3 to 20 pounds, $1.11. Now listen, for a lot of smaller sellers, this might not sound like a lot, it may seem like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. But once you start growing, once you start scaling your business, those cents add up. So I mean, you do 89 cents times like 1,000 units, 10,000 units, that's hundreds if not thousands of dollars right there. So, and then if you have from 14 days to 21 days worth, small 63 cents, large 70 cents, and then large standard, 3 to 20 pounds, about 87 cents. So it does start getting cheaper. And then if you have from 21 to 28 days, small standard, we're looking at 32 cents. So that's a huge dramatic drop off from the 89 cents that, if you only have 0 to 14 days. So they're really trying to make sure that you have in-stock inventory on hand, with the right amount. Large standard, 36 cents. And then the last large standard up to 47 cents. So all in all, guys, basically what Amazon wants you to do is keep enough inventory from 21 to 28 days minimum every single month, rotating. That way you can avoid paying such high fees. And my thoughts on this, because it's, it's definitely new. It's definitely crazy. It's freaking, whatever. To be honest, this is going to hit arbitrage sellers the most, specifically RA sellers for sure. Because when it comes to RA sellers, you guys are just buying one-off products and really never replenishing anything back, right? So for sure, I know it's going to hit you guys the most. But I mean, in RA, you kind of make high enough margins to make up for a lot of these fees. So, just make sure your margins are factored in right. You factor in these fees when you're outsourcing, and really a lot of you should be fine. It's still going to hurt regardless. No doubt, because it is extra money that we're having to pocket out of our own pockets. But for RA sellers, I'm not too worried about. OA sellers, it's a tough one. Because I know an OA is getting more and more competitive. I know when I was doing OA a lot, it was getting really hard to replant some certain stuff. Not the fact that it's hard to get them at certain prices, right? Just the fact that you have to deal with tanking, holding and buy box suppression, all that stuff. And so with OA, I think it's going to hit you guys the most because you can't replant fast enough. And if you do replant fast enough, you're going to have to probably hold off, dealing with tanking, more competition, all that good stuff, right? So I think for OA sellers, this is going to affect you guys the most. Not to mention, for some OA products, the margins aren't all that great, so this will really affect you guys for sure. Just because, you know, unlike RA, the margins are like double what OA margins are usually. And so, yeah, I don't for OA, you need to be really careful, more specific with your, you know, products, more strict with your margins when you're out there sourcing. And yeah, just, you know, factor in that fee, guys, because it will add up. And especially if you're not replenishing it, anything whatsoever, I mean, you're looking at least 90 cents to almost $1. So yeah, which is crazy because when you're price tagging with other competitors, I mean, it gets real. So yeah, just be careful. Wholesalers, this can go one or two ways. It's not hard for us to really maintain this because we're buying in cases, replenishing most of our stuff every single month. So, you know, keeping in stock with some of these things to not pay as much of a fee, it's not too bad for us personally. But of course, you know, there's those, you know, price thinkings here and there, buy box subscription as well, like with OA and RA and all that. But it is easier for wholesalers to kind of maintain this because you're able to replenish a lot of your products, assuming you're buying from wholesalers that you can replenish from, right? I know some wholesalers, they get like daily deals, weekly deals. So you guys, it might be a bit harder because you're not getting every, you know, the same deal every single week, month. So it may be tougher for you guys. But for those of us who can replenish pretty nicely, pretty easily, it's not too hard. I mean, I usually buy a month's worth of inventory anyways. So for us, it won't be hard. It'll be actually probably easy to maintain. And yeah, so, but I mean, all in all, guys, like I said, arbitrage sellers, you guys are definitely going to be getting hit more with this, more than anyone else. And another thing too, right, is that, guys, if you haven't really noticed, for those of you who've been in the Amazon game for, you know, a decent minute now, like me, I've been in it for 4 years, all right? So, you know, I've always noticed that Amazon, long term, they want sellers that are, you know, thinking long term, okay? Respectfully, Amazon does not want arbitrage sellers selling on their platforms, okay? And so they're basically have been punishing you guys the most every single year with new fees, new guidelines, new, you know, just a lot of stuff, right? And so for a lot of you who are in the arbitrage space, please, you know, think about the future, think about what, you know, you want to do within the e-commerce space. Because, I mean, not only will it get harder, it'll be much more difficult to maintain some of your margins and whatnot. Oh, and although I'm not saying it's impossible to make a living out of doing arbitrage, right? I mean, there's plenty of dudes out there killing it, crushing it, making huge numbers and whatnot. But I am saying, you know, to factor in, you know, certain changes like this that happen every single year, and think about the model that you're doing, the goal that you have on your mindset, and, you know, where you want to go. Because if I'm being honest, arbitrage is not an end goal, in my opinion, especially if you want to be in this business for like 10 years or so. And specifically not with Amazon. I mean, like I said, they're making rules that are really punishing arbitrage sellers, okay? And if this doesn't open eyes for some of you guys, then I don't know what will. But yeah, dude, like, just, you know, plan ahead, you know, like maybe think about getting into some wholesale down the road eventually, private label, or just venturing into other business, you know, ventures, you know, in something. Because yeah, like I said, it may not seem like it, but guys, this is really hurting you guys the most. I mean, at least in my opinion. So yeah. Now, a few new things too, reading on this. Let's see. They're also kind of discounting some services on other fees, right? So like inbound placement service fee, is getting a discount of up to 100%. A decrease to fulfillment by Amazon fulfillment rates for standard products by 20%, by 20 cents per unit, and larger items by 61 cents per unit. So they are decreasing some of their fees, which is good. You know, which will, I guess, kind of balance out the new fees and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, still, it's crazy. And it says these changes will take effect April 15th. So about the same time when multiple products officially end too. So yeah. But, and it says the same date inbound placement fees will be charged first. So yeah, that's crazy. And aside from that, just talking about peak fees and whatnot. But aside from that, guys, yeah, just make sure you go over the fees too. You know, you want to make sure that you're reading them right. You want to make sure that you're planning accordingly, because this does change the game for some of you, especially if you're already running on thin margins, all right? So yeah, do keep that in mind. Do be careful. And yeah, just you know, plan accordingly. I mean, regardless of what you think or don't think about Amazon's policies, fees, we are in their playground at the end of the day, guys. So we just got to adjust to it, adapt, and really make the best out of it. All right. So, I mean, in my mindset, I'm going to, you know, pass these new fees on to the customers. So I'm raising my prices and, you know, they're going to end up paying it at the end. So really, it shouldn't really hurt us too much. Because again, we're passing them to the customers, or at least we should be, right? But you know, certain sellers don't. they hate money. So, but yeah. So all in all, though, guys, that is it for this video. I don't want to take up too much time. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Do you agree with some of these policies? Do you think this affects someone else? Maybe. I mean, you can disagree with some of the stuff I say. That's perfectly fine. You know, I'm always open to a good conversation. So, but with that being said, guys, I am out. That is it for this video, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.